Hey, what's up guys, I'm Chris and we're the Sauce here, and today we'll be bringing you the 5th part of What If the Remaining Saints Were Good. If you haven't seen the other 4 parts, there'll be a playlist and the link of that will be in the description, so if you haven't seen the other parts, make sure y'all go check it out before y'all go and see this part. But other than that, let's get into part 5. After Trunks left Back to the Future, he left the group thinking about what they need to do, as Piccolo tells the others that they need to head to Namek to get a new Guardian of Earth, and also a new set of Dragon Balls. Krillin comes up with the idea of having some of them go to Namek to revive the fallen, while the others stay on Earth and begin their training for the androids. Goku thinks it's a good idea, but asks who would be going to Namek. Piccolo cuts in saying that he should head to Namek since he's a Namekian, but also points out that the strongest fighters should prepare for the new androids. Krillin and Tien said they would join Piccolo so that they can get Yamcha back, and Vegeta would tell Tarbles and Nappa for them to go with the others since they have more experience with traveling in space, and for extra fighters just in case they meet any threat. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Broly would stay on Earth, as Goku would go to Turles and ask if he wanted to stay and train with them, but Turles says that he will leave on his own for his own training purposes, but promises that he will return when the android threat arrives because he wouldn't want to miss this powerful opponent, as he gets to his space pod and flies off on his own. Bulma would begin making a ship for them to travel in, and in 1 month's time she would have a ship done similar to the one Goku had in the original story when he headed to Namek. She added a gravity room for training since they will be traveling on their own for a while, as the group would head to Namek, thanks to Bulma, as now they will have a form of training. As they leave off, the other group is all training hard in the gravity room, but sometimes Gohan would have to leave to do some schoolwork because Chi-Chi is still at the Capsule Corp. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly all train and try to perfect the Super Saiyan transformation, as Vegeta is the only one who can become a Super Saiyan at will, with Goku not being far behind, but Broly is kinda worried for losing control again. But during their training, when Broly tries to transform in his Super Saiyan state, he ends up transforming into his Ikari form, which shocks both Vegeta and Goku as they are shocked with Broly's new transformation, as they wonder what it is. Broly tries his hardest to stay calm but soon falls out of his transformation. Goku notices that Broly's powers increase 10 times as Vegeta figures out that Broly managed to get the power boost of a great ape without having to transform into one, as this gives Goku an idea for training Broly and Gohan. During the days of training while heading to Namek, all 5 of them trained hard while traveling. At first, the game was slow with the humans having trouble going at the rate with the others, but overall their training went well. At this point, no more power levels, but we will do some power scaling. Broly will be at the top, followed by Goku and Vegeta being somewhat equal. Then Turles will follow on, then to Gohan, then to Piccolo, Nappa, Tarbles, Tien, and then Krillin. They finally arrive at Namek and begin their search for the Dragon Balls. They encounter the first village they see as they land and act all politely besides Nappa since he's still all the same. But Piccolo would tell him to calm down. Piccolo would talk to the Namekians asking if they could have their Dragon Balls to wish back their friends. The Namekians would apologize saying that they seem friendly but they could not just give away their Dragon Balls, but they could meet their Grand Elder and talk to him to see if he will let them use the Dragon Balls. Nappa is clearly upset, but Piccolo tells Nappa to calm down as he thanks the Namekians that they will all head to the Grand Elder's place after the Namekians headed them to the right direction. They would shortly arrive at the Grand Elder's place and would see a Namekian guarding the entrance as they land nearby. Nail will quickly be on his guard, saying that he will not allow anyone to enter into the sacred place, but Piccolo will introduce himself and explain his reasoning for being here. But Nail still won't allow it as he charges at Piccolo, but Piccolo would easily dodge all of Nail's attacks and catch his hands, telling Nail that he did not want to hurt him, as they just want a chance to speak to the Elder. As then Grand Elder Mori comes outside asking Nail what is going on. Piccolo would instantly let go of Nail's hand as he kneels down. With Kami's knowledge, he would know what to do. Now for a quick explanation why Mori is the Grand Elder and not Guru is because in canon Guru originally passed away right during the time of the Namek arc, after everyone was wished on Earth. At this point of the What If story, we are beyond the date of the events of the canon Namek arc. So in this What If, Guru passed away of old age and Mori would still become the Grand Elder. Now let's get back to the story. Mori would greet the travelers and letting them come into his place as they would enter to see 2 children, one being Dende and his other brother Cargo. Mori would ask them why would they travel to Namek, as Piccolo would explain the reason they have traveled to this planet. If they could use the Namekian Dragon Balls and possibly find a new guardian for their planet. They would collect all the Dragon Balls as they would summon Porunga, and Porunga would be able to grant them 3 wishes, which shocks them not knowing this, as they would wish back the people who died fighting Frieza, and they would also ask Mori if they could ask Porunga to choose them a new guardian from Earth. As Mori would allow this, as Porunga would choose Dende to be the new guardian, as Mori would be proud of Dende, saying that he will become a great guardian. As Dende is kind of nervous, not really sure about this, but Piccolo would go over to Dende saying that it would be an honor to everyone on Earth to have him as their new guardian. Dende would calm down, saying he will head back with them as they thank everyone as they head back to Earth with the new guardian. On Earth, Paragus, Raditz, and Yamcha are brought back to life as Broly is happy to see his father back alive again, and Goku and Gohan would be happy to see Raditz. But the reunion is cut short as they notify Raditz, Paragus, and Yamcha of the threat of the androids as they all pump up to train to prepare for the fight. Paragus and Raditz would join the Saiyans, but Yamcha says that he doesn't want to hold them back, but he will be training elsewhere and wait for the others to return as he flies off to go to Master Roshi's to train with him. The others will return back to Earth as everyone meets them at Capsule Corp, as everyone would greet Dende, but Piccolo would say that they must go to the lookout to begin the process for Dende to become the Guardian as they would head off. Goku would say to Tien and Krillin that Yamcha was waiting for them at the lookout as they would go with Piccolo to the lookout. Now every Saiyan would be training together with the gravity room, and Goku and Vegeta would try to have everyone obtain the Super Saiyan transformation. Piccolo and the others would arrive as they would be greeted by Mr. Popo as he would tell Tien and Krillin that Yamcha would be coming out of the time chamber in a few minutes. As then Piccolo and Mr. Popo would help Dende get prepared to become the new Guardian and begin creating the new set of Dragon Balls. Tien and Krillin would be waiting for Yamcha to leave the time changer, but not longer after the door would open up as Yamcha would head out of the time chamber and be glad to see Tien and Krillin. But behind Yamcha, Master Roshi would come up as this shocks both of them as they finally realize that Yamcha has grown so much more powerful than both Tien and Krillin, and Master Roshi being near their power level. Tien would ask Yamcha what training has he been doing, as Yamcha explained that during the week he has been waiting for them to return. He went to Goku to learn the Kaioken and asked Bulma to create him a portable gravity chamber, as then he went to ask Mr. Roshi to train with him as they entered the time chamber, and Yamcha would teach Master Roshi the Kaioken, and after both they started to use the gravity room, and they would also spar while using Kaioken. Roshi would have to use his buff form while using the Kaioken, but this training has been very effective for both of them as they quickly grew in strength. Roshi says that it's been a good training session, but that's about what he'll do, as he thinks he won't be much of use when the androids arrive. Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin will continue training at the lookout while using the gravity room and trying to master Kaioken. Later on, when Dende finally gets settled in, Piccolo would join the humans in their training and also learn the Kaioken as well. Throughout their training, the 3 years would pass by quickly as everyone would meet up by South City, and now let's do a quick power scaling. In still first place, we got Broly, followed by Goku and Vegeta still being equals. Turles will be followed up by then. Then we would have Raditz, then Piccolo, Nappa, Gohan, Tarbles, Yamcha, Tien and Krillin are somewhat equal. As the only Saiyans who obtained Super Saiyan was Raditz and Tarbles, as they were able to transform into the state but starts to work on it, as Gohan and Broly both been working on the Wrathful state rather than Super Saiyan. While they are all watching over the city, they see an explosion go off which alerts them, and they begin to search the area. Now Bulma and Yajirobe would not be in a flying car with the group, so it would be one less thing to worry about. Now since there are more fighters in canon, they would have less ground to cover, but still Yamcha would be the first one to encounter the androids, but this Yamcha is way more stronger than his canon counterpart, and he would be able to stand on his own ground against Jiro, and he would call in Android 19 to aid him, but at this point the others would have arrived much more quickly. Jiro would see how outnumbered he is, but he smirks, saying that he's glad that he has brought backup, as 16, 17, and 18 all show up and they all start to have a brawl. Now let's go back to Dr. Jiro. While he was programming the androids, since everyone else is stronger compared to their canon counterparts, these androids would be stronger than the canon androids. And since there was a huge war battle between Frieza's family and the Z Fighters, this gives Dr. Jiro has much more fighters to study to make their androids much more powerful. Andrew would have noted that there is a lot more fighters, so he would work on 16, make him more powerful and not solely only want to fight Goku. Another thing is, the androids do know about the Super Saiyan transformation, as Vegeta, Goku, Broly, they all transform into that state, so they are incredibly powerful right now. Now for this next big fight, the humans will go against Dr. Jiro, 19 will go against Nappa, Piccolo, and Paragus, 17 will go against Goku, Gohan, and Raditz, and 18 will go against Vegeta and Tarbles, while 16 and Broly would have their 1v1. The fight would break out all across the city, but Goku is worried with the people that are nearby as he tries to hold back to not hurt any innocent people. Even with our fighters being stronger, the androids are much more stronger too, so they will have a hard time fighting the androids. The only one who's easily disposable was Dr. Jiro with the human trio team up, as they all were able to gang up on him with their excellent teamwork and use of Kaioken. Before they finished off Dr. Jiro, he said that they would need to watch out as he sent one more android to this location as this shocks them. The fight between Android 19 is doing okay, but the group the group is having trouble since their teamwork isn't so good, with Nappa being mainly trying to brute force his way, Piccolo trying to use strategy, and Paragus having trouble to aiding these two teammates. Android 17 is dealing with Goku, Gohan, and Raditz pretty well, even though Goku and Raditz have Super Saiyan and Gohan having his Radfall form. Throughout the fights, Goku's heart virus would never actually come into fruition, because during the time they were training at Capsule Corp, and Chi-Chi would be staying there, so she would make sure that Goku would take the heart medicine. Their fight would be hard against Android 17, but his power would just be so great that he was able to handle them all. 17 would begin on beating on Goku, as Gohan would be enraged and begin charging at 17, as Raditz would soon follow behind his nephew. Vegeta and Tarbo's would be getting pummeled by 18, as Tarbo's will still be having trouble to use Super Saiyan, and Vegeta's trying to watch out for his younger sibling, but also having to put out most of the effort into fighting against the android. Broly, on the other hand, is having the edge on 16 even without using his Super Saiyan form, and only his wrathful state. He is still getting stronger the longer he fights, as soon as he is able to overpower 16, with the only thing 16 has against Broly is having infinite stamina. Away from battle, 3 more people have arrived at Earth, with it being Turles finally arriving back to aid them with the androids, Future Trunks arriving back, and Cell currently eating people after traveling from a different timeline. The humans stand guard, waiting for the arrival of the new android, but they see something flying at top speed, and without even realizing it, all 3 of them are slammed against one giant big android, as they are sent flying back to see a tall android with blue skin and orange hair, with this being Android 13 after absorbing Android 14 and 15. This android is the strongest one there is, as the humans prepare to fight it so that the others won't have more problems to deal with. All 3 of them activate Kaioken as they charge at the new android, but quickly they learn that this android won't be easy to beat like the last one. Even with them combining their attacks and trying to use their teamwork, the absolute power Android 13 has, which lets him easily handle all 3 of them. They soon realize that their chances of beating this new foe is low, but Yamcha tries to be positive, telling the others that they will not give up and be tested and be bested like last time, saying that he will not fall like last time. Yamcha goes beyond, using Kaioken times 20. His body is having some strain, but Yamcha still tries his hardest as he charges at Android 13, and Krillin and Tien, seeing this, they follow Yamcha using Kaioken times 20 as well. Yamcha would rush down Android 13 quickly, attacking him with a multitude of Wolf Fang Fist. Then Tien would use his multi-clone ability to have the 2 of his clones to hold down Android 13, as Tien and Krillin would use a solo flare to blind him, as Tien will also charge a multiple Neo Tri-Beam as he shoots multiple of them at Android 13, giving enough time for Krillin to charge a Destructo Disc as he sends it to him. Just before it hits Android 13, he gains his vision back and quickly dodges it, but he still gets hit by the disc, only losing an arm, so he gets furious. Quickly, as the humans got worried, as they used all their strength into that combo, thinking it's over for them. But when Android 13 tries to rush through the fighters, he is launched back to reveal Turles in his Super Saiyan form, saying that he will handle it from here, as Krillin is glad, but the others 2 feel disappointed that they needed to be aided once more. The humans still try to be helpful with trying to help the civilians to safely evacuate the city, but then they are approached by a bug-like being, and even without putting up a fight, they are all quickly knocked out, without the others knowing, as Cell quietly look at the battle taking place, as he plans to absorb the androids silently, as he has no chance of beating these fighters, as there are too many of them, and they are all way stronger than normal. With Vegeta and Turbos, it is not going well, as 18 is able to play with them, not taking them too seriously, and at this point it pisses Vegeta off as he goes to attack 18, but she dodges him easily and kicks him right in the arm, breaking it just like in canon. As Vegeta screams in pain, as this angers Turbos to the point where he finally gains Super Saiyan once again and charges at 18, trying to fight her, but even with this little power boost, it doesn't really change much in the battle, as she still easily beats him down. She begins charging up a blast to end Turbos and Vegeta, but then Vegeta sees this and gets enraged as he kicks 18 while she wasn't paying attention to him, as she crashes into a building, and Vegeta would charge up a final flash shooting at the building he knocked her into, and when the smoke fades away, she isn't there, which has Vegeta thinking that he finished her off. 17 would be beating down on Gohan, Goku, and Raditz with ease as he gets prepared to kill Gohan, but then everyone would stop as they all sense a massive power level rapidly shooting up, as a big explosion would engulf the entire city, destroying it, and also sadly killing off the residents of the city. Also, the knocked out Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha. Semi-Perfect Cell will reveal himself laughing and gaining confidence after absorbing a powerful 18. Now, since these androids are much more powerful, when Cell absorbs them, he is much more powerful than what he was in canon. Everyone is in shock when Goku's the only one to point out that the humans weren't killed, or the humans were killed in the blast, as this angers him. As he rushes to Cell trying to fight him, but with him being weakened, he's easily punched away, and with everyone being in shock, Cell takes his opportunity to rush to 17, absorbing him right in front of Gohan and Raditz, as he easily transforms into his perfect form. Away, Trunks stopped by his traveling machine, as he is confused on why there is another one when he has his own in the Hoi Poi capsule, as he gets worried, but then he senses the powerful ki that just rose, and this leaves him shaking. Back at the battle, everyone is standing still, not fighting, as Cell is happy seeing everyone in fear of his power, as he knows no one can stop him. But with having the cells of the Saiyans, he tells them that he will hold a tournament 1 week from now and will let them train to stop him. After he sees the other 2 androids not wanting to have them kill any fighters, he quickly teleports behind 16, blowing him up and also knocking out Broly in the process, and then easily destroying 13 and 19. Cell smiles, saying he is hoping for a good fight by Goku, as he flies away, leaving everyone in fear of this new powerful foe, and them thinking what would their plan be to defeat Cell. Well guys, that would be the end. We kind of went through, like, you know, just the android saga, and then the next part would just be the entire Cell saga. Let me know what y'all think of this part, what you think is going to happen in the future, if there's anything we messed up in. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this part, and if you have any other what if suggestions you want us to do, leave it down in the comments down below, and we'll respond, letting you know what we think. Other than that, guys, thank y'all so much for watching and all the support. We're grateful for it, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.